Norse Myths, a Viking graphic novel, Thor and Loki by Bowen and Smith and Locus. Uneasy allies. The Aesir were the gods of the ancient Norse people. From their heavenly realm of Asgard, they ruled over the world of mortals and the lands of the dead. The Norse gods had one major enemy, the giants, who lived in the land called Jotunheim. To make peace with the giants, Odin, the wise ruler of the Aesir, agreed to raise a giant child as his own son. The child, Loki, has made a name for himself as a trickster and a troublemaker. Fortunately, he uses his sly cunning more often in the Aesir's favor than against his adopted family. Loki's main rival is Odin's son, Thor. Where Loki is quick and clever, Thor is proud, brave, and strong. Wielding his magical warhammer, Thor is happiest when he's smashing Asgard's enemies into dust. However, Thor is quick to anger and would prefer to rid the 9 worlds of Asgard's foes once and for all. Wise Odin forces his 2 sons to work together at every opportunity, knowing that only they can keep each other in check. He hopes their example can teach the peoples of Asgard and Jotunheim how to live in peace despite their differences. Assuming that Thor and Loki don't kill each other first. The main players. Odin, the one-eyed all-father and wise ruler of the Norse gods. Odin is the god of many things, including healing, sorcery, battle, and poetry. He values wisdom and knowledge above all. Thor, the red-headed, quick-tempered son of Odin. He is the Norse god of thunder, lightning, and strength. With his magical warhammer, Mjolnir, Thor can call lightning from the sky to defend Asgard from all its enemies. Loki, a small giant and blood brother to the gods. A clever shapeshifter, Loki enjoys tricking the Norse gods. He resents them, but he assists them when it suits his purposes. He can solve almost any problem through his wits and cunning. Thialfi, a young manservant to Thor. The mortal son of a simple farmer, Thialfi is tricked into disobeying Thor's orders. To make amends, he accompanies and helps the Norse god during his adventures. Skræmir, a truly massive giant that Thor, Loki, and Thialfi meet on the road to Jotunheim. He is so large they mistake one of his gloves as a cave. He seems friendly, but appearances can be deceiving. Uthgarda Loki, the cruel and clever giant king of Utgard, a stronghold on the river Ifing. When the Aesir enter the giants' lands, Uthgarda Loki uses his cunning and magic to make sure the Norse gods don't cause trouble. Loki, Thialfi. Thor. Chapter 1. Looking for Adventure. Long ago, we Vikings believed in Yggdrasil, the world tree. From its branches to its roots, it spanned the 9 worlds. Wrapped around its trunk lay Midgard. It was our world and yours. Today, you might think of it as the real world. Below Yggdrasil's roots lay Niflheim, the icy home of the dishonored dead. Opposite it lay Muspelheim, the home of the fire giants. At the top, among Yggdrasil's branches, lay Asgard. It was the home of our gods, the Aesir. Their king was one-eyed Odin, the All-Father. He was wise and cunning. He was the greatest of the gods, or the worst, depending on whom you asked. We all worshipped that cagey old wolf. We feared him and certainly respected him, but we never gave him our love. Of all the Aesir, the only one we truly loved was Thor. Thor, son of Odin, was unique among the Aesir. For he loved Midgard and its people, and he protected them. Thor wore iron gloves that could never be broken. His legendary belt added the strength of a giant to his own godly might. And always by his side was Mjolnir, a magical hammer made by the finest craftsmen.
Thor, what brings you before me today? I have much to do.
Oh, Father, I've grown bored.
Bored, he said. A bored Thor is a troublesome Thor.
What are your intentions, then, son?
I wish to go into Jotunheim, the giant's land, with my hammer Mjolnir. I want to remind them why they should fear and respect us.
We have a peace treaty with the giants, son.
I will not break it. I just want to have a little fun.
Thor's idea of fun is dangerous. He's like his brother Loki in that way. Yes, those two require much looking after. It must be hard to keep an eye on them both.
Yes, but perhaps they can do so together. You may go to the giant's land, but you must take your Loki with you. It will be good for the giants to see you working with one of their own.
As you wish, All-Father. I'll go find him.
Thor was not pleased by his father's wishes, but he was an obedient and respectful son, so he did as he was told. Loki was not Thor's brother by blood. In fact, Loki was not one of the gods at all. Odin had agreed to raise Loki along with his other sons. The resulting treaty brought peace between Asgard and Jotunheim. But Thor had never trusted Loki, nor had Thor's wife, Sif.
Sif, I only want to be friends.
Friends? When we were children, you once cut off all my hair with a pair of scissors.
That was so long ago, I'd forgotten all about it. My request is small. I just want to know where Thor keeps Mjolnir when he...
Sif, are you here?
Hello, husband.
My love, I'm off to Jotunheim for a while. Have you seen Loki?
He's here. We were just talking about you.
Brother, I'm off to Jotunheim.
Yes, so you said.
Odin says you must come with me.
Fine, as the All-Father wishes.
And so they set out over the rainbow bridge called Bifrost. They rode in Thor's chariot, pulled by the magical goats Gnasher and Grinder. They arrived in winter and began their long journey to the giant's land.
So, what were you and Sif talking about?
Oh, nothing much. I just needed to hammer out some details with her.
Chapter 2. An Unfortunate Deed. At the end of the first day, they came to the home of Egil and stopped to rest.
Your visit honors me, noble guests, but I'm afraid I have no food fit for gods.
Too bad.
Don't worry about that, friend. I have just the thing.
Thor returned to his chariot and killed his 2 goats. Thor cooked the goats for Loki, Egil, and his family. They feasted well that night, except for Egil's son, Thialfi. After eating, Thor lay the goats' bones aside and covered them with their skins.
See that these aren't touched. It's very important.
Thialfi was shocked by the events of the night, and who wouldn't be?
Would you like to know a secret, boy? Thor's goats are magical creatures. Tomorrow they will rise from the dead. Really? Oh, yes. We eat them all the time, Thor and I. I've heard that the best part is the marrow in their bones, though I've never tried it myself.
Loki didn't need magic to trick a curious boy. The next morning, Thor tried to use Mjolnir's magic to bring his goats back to life. But when he did, the bone that Thialfi had broken was not made whole. Thor was furious. Frightened, Thialfi confessed to the deed.
Do you have any idea what you've done?
Egil begged Thor for forgiveness. He even offered to give his son to Thor as a servant. Fortunately for Thialfi, Thor accepted his father's offer. Unfortunately for the goat, it would be lame for all its days. Loki was pleased. The three travelers set out on foot for Jotunheim later that morning. A long journey lay before them. By nightfall, they had become lost in a deep forest.
We'll never reach Jotunheim at this rate. We should stop for the night.
I'll find us some shelter.
After some searching, Thialfi discovered a cave.
It's a little musty inside, but it should do.
Chapter 3. A Giant Awakens. They settled in for the night. Hungry and tired, all they could do was try to get to sleep. No sooner had they laid down
What in the 9 worlds is that?
Someone should go find out.
Oh, very well.
Thor quickly found the source of the rumbling. The largest giant he had ever seen was sleeping on the forest like it was a bed of straw. Thor returned to the cave.
It was a giant as tall as the sky.
What should we do? Thor should go out there and smash its head in. It's what he's good at.
But he's sleeping.
Would you rather he woke up and stepped on all of us?
No.
Then get to it. Unless, of course, you're too afraid.
Thor is no coward.
Show us, then.
I will.
After Thor had left,
do you really believe Thor can defeat the giant? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I'll be happy.
Meanwhile,
What was that? Did an acorn fall on my head?
Uh-oh.
Yawn. Oh, hello there. Are you lost, little one?
I'm not lost. My name is Thor, son of Odin. I'm looking for Jotunheim.
I am Skramir, and I'm looking for something as well. A glove I lost. There it is.
the glove, Thor realized, was the very cave where he and the others had taken shelter.
What a relief! I thought I'd never find it. Now, what were you saying?
Ooh, my back.
Jotunheim. My companions and I are going to Jotunheim.
Well, friend, the nearest city is Utgard, which is that way. But beware the ruler of that place. He has powers you can't begin to imagine.
I fear no giant, Skramir.
Good for you. Anyway, the sun is coming up. I should go. I think we'll meet again soon, though. Farewell.
Chapter 4. Challenges of the Giant King. As Skramir walked away over the horizon, Thor and company set out as well.
You really taught him.
Be quiet.
By day's end, they arrived at Utgard, on the border of the giants' land. It impressed them all. However, the giants and their king, Loki, were less than impressed by them.
You are not welcome here. You may stay only if you have any special skills to show us.
This feels like a trick.
No. This is why we came. To show how the sons of Asgard are better than any giant.
If that's really how you feel.
The first challenge Loki set was an eating contest. Loki volunteered, boasting he could out-eat anyone. His opponent was named Loki. With one great bite, Loki stripped all the meat from a leg of goat. The giant, however, did him one better. He ate the entire thing, plus the plate. Loki admitted defeat. Loki's next test was a foot race against the giant Huyi. Seeing the opponent, Thialfi volunteered.
I can beat this big oaf.
Go!
Huh?
Finally, Thor claimed that he could outdrink any giant in Utgard. Loki smiled and handed Thor a drinking horn.
Let's see if you can finish this.
Thor took the horn and drank and drank and drank. He drank for an hour straight, but he could not empty the horn. Thor was forced to admit defeat.
So much for the might of the gods of Asgard.
I tire of these foolish contests. Let my hammer show you what we gods are made of.
Don't make me laugh. This cat sleeping by my fire is more intimidating than you. If you could even lift it, I would be impressed.
You're not going to take that, are you?
Never.
Good man. Go lift that cat. Prove your worth, fool.
Struggle as he might, Thor could only lift one paw off the ground.
How impressive! You nearly lifted a single paw. Perhaps there is one of my subjects you are worthy to fight.
To the giants' delight, their king sent for an old crone called Ellie.
Stand against me if you can.
Brave Thor leapt into battle without a second thought. Yet for all his fearsome strength, Thor found himself outmatched. Slowly, inevitably, the Ancient One drove him to his knees. The old woman left Thor humbled, humiliated, and defeated. Chapter 5. A Trickster Revealed. The defeat was too much for the Thunder God to endure.
Let's see how you laugh with your teeth knocked out.
Wait, brother. Things are not as they seem. Tell him, Loki. Tell him the truth.
What truth?
Finally figured me out, have you? What gave it away?
The cat, of course. I enjoy making a fool of Thor as much as any man. But that was far too silly to believe.
What's this about? I demand an explanation.
Our host is a skilled illusionist. He's been playing us all for fools.
So I have, from the moment you entered my forest.
That means Skramir
was me. Luckily, I thought to make myself look larger. Otherwise, your hammer wouldn't have missed my head. The challenges you faced here were illusions as well. Let me show you. Loki, you did well, but your opponent was really a roaring fire, given the shape of a giant. No one, giant or god, could out-eat an inferno. Thialfi, you are fleet of foot, but your opponent was more cunning than you know. Hui was the speed of my mind given shape. You had no chance against my quick wit. Thor, the drinking horn is magically linked to the bottom of the sea. It also changes the taste of salt water to mead. The illusion you wrestled against was no crone, but old age itself, given form. Eventually, old age brings every one of us to our knees.
Clever tricks. But what about the cat?
Ah, the cat. In truth, it was bound to a simple piece of rope running through a hole in the ground.
What's on the other end?
It loops around the neck of the Midgard serpent.
Jormungandr. What chance would any man or god have at lifting a beast coiled around the entire world?
So I actually lifted the Midgard serpent?
Very slightly. An impressive display of strength, nonetheless.
You're right to fear the strength I've shown you, trickster. For now, it will make you pay for making fools of us.
The king, his subjects, and their entire city disappeared.
Uthgarda Loki!
Where did it all go? I think it was never really here. How clever.
Uthgarda Loki must have sent us the wrong way when he was disguised as Skramir.
That's what I would have done.
You clearly share that villain's cunning, Loki. But tell me this. If you saw through his tricks when I lifted the cat, why not tell me right away? Why let me wrestle that old woman? I looked like an idiot.
In any event, there's nothing more we can do here.
Yes. Let's go home. I'm tired of adventuring in the land of giants.